All right. Well, first of all, thanks for everybody for coming today. We are introducing a bill for crop insurance for Camelina and other oil seeds that can be used for biodiesel. And this is a very, very important bill. We think it's a pilot bill. One of the things that is a problem with a lot of the oil seeds, particularly a crop like Camelina right now, is there's a lot of risk. And what this crop insurance program will do will help minimize that risk, encourage farmers to grow this, and help this country become more energy independent. With a clean burning fuel, it's going to create a lot of jobs in rural America. And we think that it's just a win-win-win deal on those grounds. Camelina is an interesting crop, and Sam Huttenbauer and Tom Buis will talk about it in a bit. But it's a crop that's been around a while, but it's a new crop to the United States, and particularly a new crop to Montana. We're going to have about 50,000 acres in Montana this year. And this is the seed. As you can see, it's very, very fine seed, at a low rate. But ultimately, when it gets to this form so you can crush it, it's about 40% oil, which is very, very high for oil seeds. And so you get 1,000 pounds of seeds, you're going to get about 400 pounds of oil out of it, approximately. And you're going to end up with two products after you crush it. You're going to end up with the meal, and this can be used for livestock feed. It's high in omega-3 fats, amino acids. I know a goat producer, a goat grower that produces cheese in the Gallatin that has fed this feed to his goats. The cheese comes out with the omega-3 amino acids in it, and so which helps cardiovascular and all sorts of good stuff. So that's a real positive, and it can be fed to livestock across the board. Here's some more of the meal, and then this is the product that we're really looking for. This is a byproduct here, but this is the oil that can be utilized as biodiesel. Can be burnt in the tractors and over-the-road trucks and cars that are diesel running engines. So this is good stuff. And keep in mind, when the diesel motor was invented 100 years ago, it was invented to run on vegetable oil, peanut oil specifically. So we're going back to where we were and make this country energy independent. It's very, very clean burning, creates jobs in rural America, and it just works real well for us. And the whole idea behind the crop insurance program, I've got to go say this one more time. There's crop insurance for crops like wheat, corn. This is a new crop. Farmers take a tremendous risk when they put in a new crop, because if something goes awry with the weather, get a hailstorm, they're just out. If there's availability for crop insurance, it helps them meet those expenses that they had for putting the crop in. And so we think this bill will help push the biofuels forward in a very positive way in this country. So with that, I want to introduce Sam and Tom to you, and they can fill in the blanks. Let me swap places with you.
Yeah, stand to the mic if you would.
Okay. Let me start by thanking you for introducing this bill. It'll be a tremendous boon to what we're doing. I'm with Great Plains, the Camelina company, and we're working on developing Camelina as a biofuel crop, specifically in Montana. And let me start by saying we're very proud to be working side by side with one of America's greatest assets, that being its farming and agricultural community. As an integrated biofuels company that's been working with the science of Camelina for over 9 years now, Great Plains, much like the Senator, is committed to helping free the United States from the stranglehold of imported energy dependence, while at the same time developing a sustainable, clean source of fuel. Camelina, as been mentioned, is actually an ancient crop. During the Middle Ages, it was grown and processed largely for lamp oil. Over time, with the advent of competitive materials, it had all but disappeared. But now tremendous excitement about this plant has been rekindled, in large part brought about by the investigative capability work done at Montana State University and the research and development capabilities of Great Plains. The initial collaboration has brought us to launching a full-scale growing and processing program in Montana. While starting on a reasonably small scale, as mentioned, we'll probably have around 50,000 acres in Montana this year. We're planning on reaching over 1 million acres in Montana within 5 years. This will bring a multitude of new jobs and provide a competitive alternative crop for Montana's farmers. Many factors involving the introduction of a new crop must be taken into consideration. High on the list, if not the top consideration, is the ability of our producers to obtain some degree of insurance coverage, which is currently offered to other crops. And for that reason, all of us owe Senator Tester a tremendous vote of gratitude for this timely introduction of this bill. Thank you. Great Plains chose Montana for a number of reasons. First and foremost, there's a growing enthusiasm for Camelina within the state, from Senator Tester and the governor down. Montana's agronomic scientists had already demonstrated that crop can be successfully grown there, and the vast acreage to meet our goals are available both in fallow and in rotational land. It's an excellent rotational crop for wheat, which is an important consideration. The Great Plains is particularly sensitive to compromising any acreage dedicated to human nutrition, and Camelina brings to Montana's economy the possibility of a profitable non-food oilseed crop. Like Montana farmers, Camelina is very sturdy and capable of withstanding many adversities. It can go from planting to harvest with very little moisture. It has come through hailstorms which have stripped other plants intact. The low agronomic inputs necessary to produce this crop make Camelina a profitable addition to Montana's current rotation. And Great Plains is already working on methods to increase both per acre yield and oil production of Camelina, make it even a more attractive crop for Montana farmers in coming years. As Great Plains activities grow alongside of Montana's capabilities to produce Camelina, it is hoped that the oil will be transformed into biodiesel directly in the state. At the same time, the byproducts from Camelina, some of which are shown, will undoubtedly spur other economic endeavors within Montana. Great Plains has encountered enthusiastic cooperation from Montana's political infrastructure, its state university, its various economic development entities, and its agricultural community. We're proud to be a partner with all of them in introducing a new and sustainable fuel source to America, and we share in Senator Tester's vision of making America independent of foreign oil and making our environment a better place for our children and grandchildren. Thanks.
Good, Sam. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Tom Buis, President of the National Farmers Union. We're a general farm organization representing farmers and ranchers throughout the country. And this is this type of initiatives that we feel are really absolutely necessary. And I commend Senator Tester, who understands rural America and understands farming, being one himself, for taking this initiative. Because, you know, energy from the farm doesn't just happen. Ethanol just didn't happen last year. It was a 30-year effort, and it took public policy to drive that effort. I remember in the early days of ethanol, it wasn't energy efficient, it wasn't economically efficient, and most of our expertise, very frankly, came from backyard stills along the Ohio River. But today, through technology and public policy and investment by farmers, ranchers, companies like Sam's, we've been able to make ethanol energy efficient and economically efficient. And the benefits are tremendous, not just to farmers and higher prices, but to our nation's energy security. And while corn isn't the ultimate answer, there are crops out there that are, and we can produce more of it. And Camelina is one of them, but farmers need some protection from that risk. You've got to have a market. Farmers just aren't going to go out and risk their whole livelihood without some help, and that's the role of the federal government. And I'm pleased to stand here and offer our support because it means a lot, not just to the farmers, not to just to our nation, but the rural communities. If you go to a community where an ethanol plant or a biodiesel plant is up and running, it's the only communities in rural America where you see the boards coming off the storefronts instead of going on. And it increases the tax base, it helps the infrastructure, it creates jobs. In fact, we talk a lot about concentration in the marketplace. And this is not just exclusive to agriculture, but all of our economy, how 3 or 4 companies control everything. Ethanol is the only sector in the rural economy, maybe in the whole nation's economy, where concentration is decreasing. And it's dropped from the top 4 firms controlling 80% 10 years ago down to 31%. And the single largest producers of ethanol today are farmer-owned cooperatives. That money stays in those communities and reinvested. And we can do the same on biodiesel. We can do the same with crops like Camelina. We're pleased to support it.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks.